Hello, Maddie from Hello Interloper here. I just want to tell all Rage of Bahamut fans to hang tight. There will be an update this week, but for now, I have an update on the God of Steel PvP Event 7 from Blood Brothers. I also do want to apologize for not having any video updates lately. Between break and an essay for my Individuals in Society class, I've been pretty busy. So, let's go over this event, and then I'll go over some other things that have come up in Blood Brothers. For now, the new addition to this event is called the Blood Clash, and I didn't want to make this guide, update, whatever, until I actually got to experience the Blood Clash for myself. Thankfully, I did today, so I can tell you guys all about it if you have not reached that part or rank. So basically, what the Blood Clash is an all-out battle involving your entire party. You participate in a Blood Clash once you're in the title of Praetoriani, or however the heck you say that. The largest possible Blood Clash is 10 versus 10. It occurs every third battle up to the 30th. The familiars in the front line will become incapacitated. The reserve will take their place. Well, basically, when I first heard about Blood Clash, I was thinking that it was going to be a 10 versus 10 battle, kind of like how a raid boss formation is 10 familiars on one screen. Unfortunately, it isn't like that. What it is actually is your first line, your main line, attacks, and if any of them end up dying, the reserve will then come in. And the nice thing about that is if they do have a buff, they will buff when they immediately enter the battlefield. Well, if they have that chance and actually proc, but they do have a chance of buffing, which kind of helps. And pretty much it's exciting because that means that you do have to have a good back line. This makes it so you need 10 rather than just 5 really good familiars. So, it does happen, as it said, every third battle. So let's say that you get into a PvP battle, you have to do the first 2 fights being regular fights, and then the third one will be a Blood Clash. So it kind of adds a little bit of excitement. It's not that amazing. I was really hoping for 10 familiars on the same screen, but I guess that would be a little too hectic. But what this means for all of us is if you do not have 5 good guys in your back line, you have to start building up some new familiars. Because in a Blood Clash, that backline is crucial. I actually fought quite a few people that had guys that they were training in their backline, like, 1-star Astaroth or something like that, and that really made them lose. Their front line was really good, but once they got to their backline, my backline absolutely decimated their backline. So, definitely something to think about, definitely adds another aspect to this PvP business. And then there are 2 familiars that have been added as rewards, and what's really interesting is that each of them have an ability that does a different thing. Let's go to Garuda, which will be the legendary, and I gotta say, very cool, especially because it's modeled after a god. I'm sure you've heard of Garuda in some mythology sort of thing, Final Fantasy games, so on and so forth. But basically, it's a god of wind, and mostly attributed to birds, feathers, so on and so forth. But it has Blast Wave, which we've seen before. It's in the Stormworm, Mary the Witch, and then of course this not so good uncommon to rare, but a lot of people who are newbies tend to use this guy because of the Blast Wave attack. Basically, it's a 200% wisdom attack, so we assume that this guy's got a lot of wisdom, which he does. Or she, I don't know. I guess it's a he because there's no boobs. But anyway, or maybe it could be more like androgynous. But yeah, so very high wisdom. We're not seeing that much difference with the stats. It's not like it has one stat that's really low. We've been seeing a lot of those kind of familiars lately. But overall, seems like a very good familiar, especially since I've been seeing a lot of people who keep their familiars all in one line. I've encountered a lot of that in PvP. So this might be a good familiar. And then we have Farwell the Insatiable, and my first reaction to seeing this guy was, oh, the obesity epidemic has hit Blood Brothers, but basically he's a very gluttonous lizard man, and yeah, he's a little disturbing looking. but he has Rubber Arm, which is kind of like Shadow Volley. It's a sweeping attack that hits everybody in the rear line, and it does 150% times attack. Now, I'm actually going to look up Shadow Volley and see if there is actually a difference between the two. And Shadow Volley is basically the same thing, except it's 3 random targets in the rear line. Technically, if somebody has all their guys in the back, this guy, Tamatomo, will only hit 3 foes in the rear line, whereas Rubber Arm will hit all of them. And it's the same modifier, so it'll do the same amount of damage. So that's pretty nice. And then the final evolution, Farwell the Glutton. I can kind of see why he would have a low HP, probably because he's extremely unhealthy. But he has a high attack, high defense, very low wisdom, very low agi. So he's kind of just a good attack defense dude. But technically, I think he might actually be worth getting because the Rubber Arm, it can be useful in many situations. And as you can see here, he's ripping a big leg of who knows what, and he's even has food stashed in his little pockets here. Kind of ridiculous, but his last words are, "At least let me die on a full stomach." Oh, funny, funny. So yeah, he can be gained when you get a certain amount of points, which unfortunately is extremely high. I don't understand why exactly the PvP events need such a high amount of points in order for you to get the rare, but it is 1,800,000 points. Hopefully when the point boosts, chances will go up. It'll be a little bit easier to get. But either way, you do get one for ranking even very low, which is, I have to say, pretty strange. I guess they're trying something new by making the rares a lot more accessible. And as you can see here, Garuda is given to the top 250, which is interesting because I don't really remember it being that wide a range. But either way, we're probably going to see a lot of people who get this guy. We're going to have a lot of them in the economy, so he'll be fairly cheap. So, pretty nice. And even if you don't rank very high, you do get crystal set ×2 and 8 silver coins. Not too bad. So this is rather interesting. Well, now I will talk about a few other things that I've kind of noticed. Remember, there was some discussion before on whether Iron Golem would be tradable after this event, especially because the Iron Golem was used as an elite during the last raid boss. And it turns out that Iron Golem is still non-tradable, meaning that unfortunately he is kind of a marketing tactic. You can only evolve him if you buy a pact and happen to get him. And if you guys haven't seen, there is a tiered pack where at some point you do get to choose between an Iron Golem or I believe it's a Batraz. Batraz, the mortal hero. So you're guaranteed to get one of them, so you can get him, who is tradable, or you could get that untradable Golem and complete your evolution. So that's a little bit disappointing. I was really hoping that, they would have some sort of way to complete your Iron Golem without having it be just a marketing campaign sort of thing, but unfortunately, Blood Brothers is notorious for that. And there is another campaign that has been going on, and let me see if I can quickly find it here. I just saw it a moment ago. There we go. It's the 10 million campaign volume 3, and just not too long ago we kind of had a vote for the next legendary, and it turned out to be that dragon dude. But here we go. It's a Facebook campaign where you can comment to have oh man, I can't even remember his name right now. But you can get Periton, Grim Reaper, and then oh man, it starts with an E. But either way, I believe he's like Eater of Worlds or something. Eton, yes, that's his name. Sorry about that. But what's really sad is the fact that a lot of people on Facebook don't seem to be actually understanding how this works and just commenting with the number, well, not number, the letter that they like. So a lot of people are liking as well, commenting, even though they want C or B or whatever. So it's kind of hectic, and most likely, because liking only takes one button and sharing takes more and commenting takes typing, most likely we'll be seeing Grim Reaper, just because like is the easiest thing to do. I honestly believe if they were to make an actual survey or a poll that actually didn't work comment, like, share, we would see more accurate results. So, that's basically it. Although I do kind of want to show you guys something that I thought was kind of interesting. I'm going to minimize for a bit. This is kind of a little mix-up on my part, but here, where is this picture? I don't know where I put it. I know I saved it somewhere. Sorry for this delay, but I know I saved it somewhere here. Blood Brothers. No, actually, I don't really know where I put it. This is disappointing. Well, either way, the dragon dude that got released not too long ago, I'm gonna find him. When I first saw him, I thought that it was a bird. And I'll show you how. I actually drew over it because I was like, oh, it would be so much cooler if it actually looked like this. But upon seeing this dude, I was immediately drawn to his shoulder piece. And as you can see, that looks like an eye, and that looks like a beak, and that looks like some kind of crest. So I thought it was a bird, and I'm like, oh, a bird man. And then unfortunately I realized, no, that's just his shoulder pad, and that's actually his head. And that's a giant sword. So I was a little bit disappointed. I was kind of hoping for birdmen. I'm a big fan of birds, so that was a little disappointing. But either way, this is the guy that got voted in from that previous Facebook thing. And of course, he was the like option. Like is the easiest thing to do. It takes 1 second, but he does have Whirlwind, which is pretty nice. And as you see, it's very good. And right now in the game, Doppelganger, whatever, is the top damage dealer. With modifiers and everything, he can do the top amount of damage. So, yeah, who knows? Maybe he'll be doing more damage. Not entirely sure. So anyway, that's about it for updates for now. Can't really think of anything else that I missed, but I will be having a Rage of Bahamut video coming up soon because there are new events, and I think I missed Holy Wars, unfortunately. But whatever event is next, I'll be sure to make a video about it. And of course, the World Battle Coliseum guide will be up eventually. Unfortunately, I had to write a paper, and that kind of took up all the time that I could use to write the script with. And it's funny because the script itself is turning out to be an essay, which is rather scary, but just goes to show how in-depth this is going to be. Well, anyway, until next time, have a good PvP event, and good luck.